Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Speedgaming. We've got another qualifier for the Speedgaming Live Online 2025 Ocarina of Time Randomizer Tournament here. Star, joining me on comms today is Kalo. How are you doing?
I'm doing alright. It's second last one. It's been a long slog to get here, but we have...
Go ahead.
No, we have Aeronaut and Imasoda with us today, have volunteered to run this seed for us. Should be kicking off soon.
Yep, so we've got ourselves two good runners here, Aeronaut and Imasoda, both extremely experienced runners who've been playing this randomizer for years. Looks like we've got a Sun Song start today, and let's see how the rest of the seed goes. Now, for those not familiar with Ocarina of Time Randomizer, this is Ocarina of Time Randomized. If you've seen the LTTPR, it's kind of a similar basic idea. We randomize the chests, we randomize the NPC gifts, we randomize the minigames. We don't do any of the crazier sanities OTR offers. We don't have things like key sanity, shop sanity, crate sanity, or entrance rando, to name a few. They need the 3 spiritual stones to get access to the Rima Bridge to Gan's Castle, and then we'll need the Shadow and Spirit Medallions for the Gan's Castle boss key.
Hey, but we are open to suggestions on settings.
But this is the 11th qualifier of 12. We will then, top 32 runners will then move on to a groups phase. That will be round robin groups of 4, from which top 2 move on to a 16-player bracket. Aeronaut and Imasoda are currently, Aeronaut is 34th and Imasoda 30th in standings. We have several runners who still could stand to move up a spot or two, so they are both looking to get a good score to secure a spot in brackets, because they're both pretty borderline at the moment. Hyrule Castle is foolish, Forest Temple is foolish, Woods is foolish. And Gerudo's Fortress, okay. So immediate child play for Imasoda, which is fairly unusual here in these settings. Most people tend to do an early adult CAC play, sometimes with River. And the Stone of Agony model is always a laugh.
Here we go, I'm back, sorry.
You're fine.
I had the wrong stream up. It's a nice list of foolishes. Having Lost Woods Foolish very early is the best time to get it, because it's usually one of the first places you go, so knowing you don't need to do any of it is nice, and normally you get Foolish Hint after you've already done it. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in these settings, in the general Ocarina of Time Randomizer, all commonly raced settings offer hints, because it is a fairly large game. It's not a ton of checks, it's actually only about 250 individual item checks in these settings. It's just that they take longer because the game is 3D as compared to ALTDPR's 2D with 216 checks. These settings on average take between an hour and 45 minutes to 2.5 hours for top runners. If it goes past 3 hours, either somebody has done a doofus brain or the seed's incredibly terrible.
Yeah. It's also that a lot of those 250 checks have a lot more item requirements than some of the other 2D games, so there's a lot more intricacy between the checks. So if you didn't have all the hints, you'd be bouncing back and forth between all of the various locations in the world, and it really does slow things down, as someone who has played that.
We will go a bit more, and we'll see more of the different hint types as we go. Snow Mask, which you saw in the back of CAC there, is one of what we call always hints. So there's a couple of really lousy, really slow checks that are guaranteed to be hinted, because it kind of suck if you had to do it with no info. Skull Mask is available from the start, but it's really slow because you have to turn the mask and do an entire sequence, so that's an always hint. Frogs 2 is an always hint, because otherwise, haha, getting all of the songs for Child to do that kind of isn't fun. Big Oran sort of reminds me that in these settings, it is claim check only for the Big Oran quest, so that is a sometimes hint. It's an always hint in other settings where you can have different items that can require doing part of the trade quest. That's not the case here, and we'll get 20 and 30 skulls, which are always hints on the Skull House. 20 is
to answer a question
30
from
is
chat.
Oh no, that's a hammer.
30 is not bad. As the question in the chat says, No 40, no 50. They're both off. 30 isn't really that bad when it comes down to it.
First, it's
Knowing
actually
from
because
the start.
saw that hammer hit and was like, alright, I need to know. Yep, we're doing it. Water's pre-completed, which is nice. We need to do Jabu, Foolish Force, Deku Spirit, and Fire. So, skulls!
Yeah, that is a shame. When you see Foolish Forest Temple, you really do cross your fingers that you don't need to do the dungeon. Because
Oh,
out of
for
all of the
sure.
dungeons, knowing that Forest is empty makes the least difference. Because you need to do the entire dungeon, whether there's items or not.
Yep, and the thing too is Forest is available very early most of the time. It's as dungeons go, it's fairly low requirements. They're supposed to have Minya Rosario song for adult SFM access, which pretty much almost always show up at fairly early. You need a hookshot, you need a bow, you need a strength. There's 2 hookshots, 3 bows, and 3 strengths. Not terribly hard.
And an interesting child spawn there at Valley. Normally, going to Valley as a child is a bit of a slog, bit of a walk. It's still not the fastest of checks, but at least you don't need to walk there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just the other thing I thought of is good thing to start with Sunsong. That will make the 30 skulls much easier.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's sort of traditional the entire way through. Season 8 was anytime 50 skulls was required, it locked Sunsong just to make collecting them as painful as possible. And the valley is empty today, so...
It is, and Ice Cavern is Path to Twin Rova. One of our other types of path hints is path hints, so that means that there is an item in that hint region that is logically that the game expects you to have to beat that boss, which Spirit Temple is the dungeon with the highest item requirements in the game. That could be anything.
It also usually
Bottle is a
requires
really
the
good find.
Requiem of... Yeah, it usually requires the Requiem of Spirit. And since Ice Cavern does have a song in it, at the moment it's not a safe assumption that that's what's going to be there, but you can hazard the guess.
Yeah. Death Mountain Trail is Path to Volvagia, which is interesting. Emo doesn't know this yet because Emo hasn't seen the 30 skulls, but that's good information because that's not our hammer, which is the most likely option, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice to see the runners split up en route immediately. It does make for a nicer restream. Normally a runner, since they start as adult, will go straight to Kakariko, as Aeronaut has done. Kakariko, Graveyard, then make your choices. But going child immediately is also perfectly reasonable when you have Prelude. Because all that's going to happen is once Aeronaut finishes this bit, he's going to go child and do the same things as Emo. And as soon as Emo finishes this, they're gonna save quit, and then go to adult and do the same things Aeronaut's done.
Yep. OOT is many. That is a sometimes in these settings because in many racing settings, which have some variant of 6 medallions required to beat the game, we have 3 stones plus the Shadow Spirit meds. So Accurate of Time becomes a sometimes hint in the song off Burning Sheik and Burning Kakariko. Behind the Forest Fire and Motor meds is our always instead. So Minuet, alright, we don't have it, that's fine.
Aeronaut facing the wrong way and not being able to sell his bugs.
Yeah. What's, by the way, what was it Crater or Trail to Volve? Because chat's not sure on that.
I only saw the word Volve.
I thought it was Crater, but chat's,
it's somewhere up there. It's somewhere up there.
I do want to make the distinction because I misread it on Qual 7, and that turned out to be a big whoops. Which made logic reading substantially harder than it should have been. So I feel like I felt like quite a doofus brain on it.
I'm not having a lot of trouble selling these bugs.
Yeah, OT is a well-coded video game, and the hitbox or trigger, I suppose, for the salesman is being silly.
And he gives up.
Yeah.
It's a matter of object permanence. If Link isn't looking at something, they obviously don't exist. You need to be looking at the salesman and close to him for him to pay attention to you.
Wasteland's dead, good hint.
Well, that could be a reason that Trail is required. That is Bruto's letter, I believe, on the summit, on the top of Dodongo's cavern.
Okay, Rudo's on top of DC, and chat confirms it was Crater if that's the path. So it's not Hovers and it's not Hammer, which is interesting. But yeah, it's not Hovers and it's not Hammer, which is interesting because those are the two of the most likely items to be path to Volvagia. There are other things, of course, but those are the two most obvious. Child fishing was a snooze. Shanhawk recovery card, I think.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that can often be required for Volvagia is something to give you heat resistance. Whether that is a Goron tunic itself, or whether it's a wallet to allow you to buy a Goron tunic.
Some other things as well. We don't have 30 skulls in Logic yet. Nothing on the crater. Good info. Sorry, a song here. So it could. So depending on how tight the 30 skulls is, it could be. We could need. It could be a path item to get our 30 skulls.
There's a couple of checks within Fire Temple that also require other things. You might need a bow to get past a bow check, bow door, depending on where your keys are. Hookshot can be required to get to the Scarecrow on the 5th floor. So there's a few different things.
The song itself doesn't lock a lot. Lost Woods is foolish, so it's not Skull Kid, although Darunia could come back to bite us all again. Darunia gave several people a very bad day yesterday. Forest is foolish, Shannock, is the other thing. Silver Scale, I'm not sure I necessarily want that, question mark. That is also a potential path. That's a Fifth River access, among other things, and we can get into Child Fountain, although we don't have a child ranged weapon of any kind yet for Jabu.
That is something. If Lullaby comes up, then Ice is in Logic. And Ice is Path, so...
That too.
I don't know if I'd be that surprised to see a bomb bag in Ice Cavern. Or Hookshot or Bow or something related to that.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what the Saria song check is, because that's our most available song check right now, and that might be the useful one.
Yeah, really that Saria's song is most likely to be path for one thing, and that is to get the song at the Minuet check. Because we know that Minuet is pretty deep in the seed. You need to beat Spirit Temple and Fire Temple for it. And Deku.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons that you might need to go to the Sacred Forest Meadow as an adult to beat those 3 dungeons. Which would make Saria's path.
We're gonna peek the Goron City Maze here. For Aeronaut, as Emo does Child Cat, looks like 3 small chests?
There was one big chest in the middle.
Never mind. Yeah. Kind of hard to tell, and my eyesight is garbage.
Oh, I've failed the peak often enough to have it well scouted now.
Yeah, Aeronaut going Child now makes sense. I didn't find anything as adult to do any checks with as adult, so we're off Child. Gonna start skull hunting, do your standard Child 0 checks, see what we find.
I don't know if I'd agree with that. It's going to be awkward to get there, but can get into Domain and do hand in letter.
I think that'll be part of a Kokiri route, perhaps, or Lake.
Yeah. The other thing is that if the scale is the path, it could indicate something's in Domain, or it could indicate something's in River, so we might end up finding a bomb bag due to having that scale.
Yeah, true, for sure. Because right now we do have a really dry start. There's not a lot open to us.
Yeah. some night checks that Minnesota has not been able to do yet. Well, was able to do, just hasn't. His Sun Song's kind of slow.
Yeah, Emo will do that later. The Emo heading out to field, likely off to Kokiri or Lake with this route. Doesn't have that skill from adult, so is not getting into river this way.
Yeah, it'll be Kiri Forest, because he would save quits for a valley
For
to get to lake.
Oh, and they've done
It's just
lake already. Duh, brain.
Yeah. It's just unfortunate there's no nice way to get there.
Okay, Vanilla Slingshot. First check of Jabu's now open for what that's worth.
I mean, it's nice if magic shows up, because we do start with Furore's Wind, which is a lovely little item, much improved in Randomizer, that you can leave in a room of a dungeon, and then leave and go somewhere else. And then as soon as you go back into any dungeon, you can warp straight back to wherever you left Furore's. It does require magic, though.
Yes, that's the thing. Question from chat: are Hyrule Castle, Fairy Fountain, and Grottos considered Hyrule Castle for Dead or Alive? So, in SGL settings, since we start with a song from the Zelda's Lullaby check, and we don't have Grotto entrance randomizer on, Weird Egg Shuffle on, or Skull Sanity, the only thing that is counted in the Hyrule Castle region in these settings is Hyrule Castle Fairy Fountain. That is dead because Hyrule Castle has been hinted to be foolish, as speaking of magic, there's that. Now, in other settings, Hyrule Castle region includes the Tree Skull, can include the Tree Skull, the song, the Weird Egg check, the Grotto, and the entrance with the Fairy Fountain.
With that magic, though, once Aeronaut finds that on a trip to Kiri Forest, you said the first chest of Jabu's open. It's a lot more tempting now. You know you need to go into Jabu. It's going to be the best place to leave your Furore's Wind. When you go there, you might as well just do the check. But definitely wouldn't be surprised if we actually see it.
Yeah, Graveyard is path to Queen Goma, by the way, which is not for the bottle because Ruta's letter is available and we can turn it in with a scale. So, hover boots?
It could be the hovers. We've got 3 songs as a possibility. There are 3 songs left to find that are pretty known for being path. Those being Nocturne, Requiem, and Song of Storms.
Nocturne was in Ranch.
Epona's song as well. Nocturne is in Ranch. Ah, yeah, Emosoda's got that. So, could be Storms, could be Epona's. Both of those are very equally likely to be a path.
Yep, Song of Time also exists. Not likely to be the path, but it does interesting things sometimes.
Oh, it can definitely be to get stuff in Gerudo Training Grounds. Epona and Storms do a lot more stuff, though. So if there was going to be a song that is path, it's probably one of those 2.
And I'm really not surprised ZL is there, I'll be honest. I missed what the pin was. Did you catch the top of SFM hint?
I did not. I was looking directly at it, and it just didn't occur to my head.
Chat says beat DMC Devolve repeat, thank you. I did see something red, so I thought it might have been that, but wasn't sure. Burning is Requiem, what now?
Gak is Requiem. Ooh. There's Bumtree Bowling dead as well.
That's a good hint. Yeah, Requiem not guaranteed to be required. It depends on what the key layout in Spirit Temple is. And we won't know until someone gets out to Spirit Temple with Strength 2 to check.
Yeah, I think it leans towards above 50%.
The odds are very high. It's logically required for a key. But whether or not we hard require it, we have no idea.
Yeah,
we won't know for a while. It'll probably not before the hour mark-ish.
It's slightly above 50-50-ish, I think, that it's going to be hard locked. Because you need one key in the adult side, which is about 50-50, and then you've got the chance of boss key being on child side as well. So the numbers don't look good for them, but you know, 50-50 is still a coin flip, equally likely to be good as well as bad.
Yep. Yeah, and Champ points out that our ice path could be for Spirit Keel for Requiem, because Shadow is required for that, and Shadow is a very high item requirement dungeon. Serenade is not path, by the way.
That is one of the only two foolish songs in the game, Serenade and Prelude. So
in these settings, yeah.
Yeah, we know for sure that it's not going to be the song that's path. And just getting caught on the door.
Got stuck on the door and doesn't have enough health to retry it.
We are going to see Aeronaut. No, we're not, because he hasn't been to Saria yet to pick up Zelda's Lullaby. Yes, we have seen Dampé Race. It was a bottle.
It's a bottle that isn't path because we can turn Rudo's letter in, and that's a bottle available. If we couldn't turn Rudo's letter in, that would be a problem. I actually remember still, there was a random settings league race some years back, where I think it was entrance randomizer, so, and some combination of that and item placement, and entrance and item placements meant that you needed to have an available bottle to get into Zora's domain as child. To turn Rudo's letter in. It was also plentiful item pool where there's two Rudo's letters placed in the game. The first one you pick up is the letter, and the second one turns into a regular bottle. And I got really confused when I looked at the spoiler log later to find out that both Rudo's letters were Way of the Hero, because you needed a Rudo's letter and a clear bottle to turn that Rudo's letter in. Which is a confusing one.
Random Settings League is a silly place.
It is. For those unfamiliar, it is more or less what it sounds like. The settings are random, so half the challenge is figuring out what's on.
Aeronaut should be getting 10 skulls here. He's been going through a lot of skulls.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job with them. That's 13.
Oh, he's at 13 already. So, since Serenade is in the graveyard, and we know it's not the song, the path to Goma is either the Composer Grave Torch, which Imasoda just missed out on performing the trick to check, or it is the Hover Boots.
Yep.
Now, the thing about Path to Goma is that is going to be pointing towards the Kokiri Sword. And the Kokiri Sword doesn't really lock anything except Goma.
Not really, no. OOT is still minion, and there's Dins. Okay, so we can now go check the Composer Grave Torches easily.
We're actually a hook shot in some way across the bridge from beating Shadow at the moment. We've got Dins, we've got magic, we've got hover boots.
We need explosives.
Hook shot, that gets us. We do need explosives, but there are 5 bomb tube packs out there.
5 bomb tube packs
and I am getting
I
am getting suspicious of this scale in Path Creator.
Yeah.
A trip to Domain, a trip to River. Both of those could well be the answer for Bomb Bag.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's for Emo, and 10 skulls was dead. I'm wondering how many skulls are in Logic right now.
Okay, that's good. Imasoda was next to Field on the death. Or was next to Castle on the death. It is awkward to not take fall damage when jumping off the drawbridge, because to avoid the fall damage you have to hold forward. But when you jump off the drawbridge, the camera kind of swings around. So holding forward doesn't necessarily mean you're going forward. You need to change your direction depending on where Link's facing.
You're not detouring into river for the tree skull.
Yes, unfortunately does not have anything to blow up the boulders, so can't carry on up to where the items are. And a slingshot is nice. The one check that is hard slingshot locked is confirmed foolish because it's in the Lost Woods. So the only way that slingshot would be useful is to get into Child Spirit. And if Requiem is in ice, I think it's going to be a while until we see that. Or Requiem on Burning Cack, it's going to definitely be a while until we see that.
Yeah. And slingshot acquired for Emu.
It really is pushing these skulls hard.
Yeah, I think we're close to 30. I don't think we have 30 in, but we're probably in the... Probably at 20-ish skulls in logic.
They are, but pushing skulls this hard, this early,
It is a risky play, for sure.
It's a decision that you are basing your entire seed around. You know, you are taking a lot of time picking up these 30 now, as opposed to someone who may think the hammer is needed later in the seed, who off some of these, longer skulls, like using the bug bottle, in order to pick them up in, say the 5 skulls in Forest Temple, or if you're going through Ice Cavern, there's another 3 plus 1 in Domain, and another in River. It's faster to pick up 30 on the way while doing other things. You just have to gamble that you don't need the hammer now.
Yeah.
We'll see if it pays off or not. Because we're 30 in logic pretty much at this point, I think there's only, probably only 3 or 4 skulls more we need to put 30 in logic. It could very well be likely that Fire Temple has the hook shot, has everything you need to win.
Mm-hmm.
In which case, he has given himself a hefty lead. So we'll see how it pays out.
Oh, yeah. Voting... Booting up my tracker here.
Soda not picking up the double defense on his chess game. Yeah. Gotta love someone with confidence, You're at 3 hearts. It'd be very nice to have double defense. Saves you picking up some heart chests, if you're ever going to.
Okay, my tracker is convinced that we have 29 skulls in logic.
Yeah, I can believe that. I'm trying to think of what things we can find in the immediate future that would give us any more. Any strength, any bombs, Epona.
Basically, just about anything gives us the additional one.
Yeah. I think the only item that doesn't would be the bow. So, yeah, quite literally anything that isn't mirror shield or bow.
Mm-hmm.
do prefer getting this skull with a backflip rather than side hop. I've never been able to get it to work with a side hop. It is deceptively hard to get as well. You either get it first try or you don't get it because it takes you so long. You just give up or run out of health. Soda, not messing around with the check. They failed to peak with Out of Logic, taking that Dins and Magic straight back to the Composer Grave Torches. So let's see if this is the path. Kiri Sword is just a nice free dungeon. And it is the Hover Boots.
It is Hover Boots path, okay. Good info.
It is nice having Hover's path, really, because there's only really 2 places that Hover locks.
Shadow
and that
Fire.
Is always Shadow Temple and sometimes Fire Temple, depending on keys. It is a shame because, you know, Shadow is a medallion dungeon, or a Fire medallion dungeon, so it's not required to beat the dungeon to win the seed. But at least you know you need to go in there.
Dins is
You don't
open
want to
Gratis
do
and
it,
Nyquil, so...
It's open grotto. It's free in Sphere 1. It's not the nicest of places to go. It can be slow to walk there. So I can see some people in the race room not picking that up anytime soon. The thing about Dins is, though, it's not something you need early. You really only need it to get into Shadow most of the time. We're seeing our first bomb possibilities here. Aeronaut is taking that scale from the crater into the river.
Yeah, going
Now, if this does pay off, that's bad news for Soda. It means the going child immediately hasn't paid off.
Oh,
You did have to do that first child segment without a scale.
Yep. We'll see here. There's the other copy of the bowling hit in Upper River. You know, what would be perhaps the silliest idea for our 30th skull?
There's a lot of silly possibilities. Which one's in your mind?
So, you know that one Song of Time Lock skull in Fire Temple?
It is possible, yeah. That.
If a Song of Time could be a nice for that one skull! And before anyone asks, yes, I marked beans on the tracker. It did count that. It did include the bean skull and the adult Lost Woods on the list of things to keep track of.
The Rudo card I always forget to put in the skull tracker.
I don't usually bother with skull tracker, but it just stayed this tight on checks. Yep, you're seeing it.
It takes me so long to fill in the tracker. I've never properly used it. As soon as I get to sort of 30, 40, 50 skulls, I'm a vibe runner. Do I have 30 skull vibes?
You mean a lot of times it's fairly clear, like, you know, if you've got a hookshot or boomerang 30 and about any 2 of hookshot boomerang bottle 30 is definitely in. But when you just have bottles plus a collection of songs and a couple other items with no explosives, then it's where the counting gets a little tight.
Oh no, you didn't need to execute your bugs so brutally. Throwing them off the cliff.
Goron City path to Baronade, interesting. And there's a wallet, so that's informative.
That is interesting. We've got Zelda's Lullaby and Saria's song. That's one check. Actually, Darunia's was hinted, wasn't it?
Darunia was not hinted.
Was not? Okay. Well, it's available.
Yes, it is. The wallet also means that our crater path isn't for that. And it's, yeah, is that skill for emo? Or yeah, it's not.
Yeah, we've got a Sphere 0 or Sphere 1 wallet in River, which means that really this Volvagia path has to be pointing at a bomb bag.
That's skill in Saria's song, yeah, it's interesting. Skill locks... They do... Saria's song unlocks one check and it'll SFM, skill locks like about 2 or 3.
Well, because Ruto's letter was so early, the scale is a lot more enticing, because it does give you access to Ice, the rest of Fountain, that first check in Jabu.
Yeah. Shadow Child 2 is dead, good to know. We're not getting there anytime fast, but good to know.
Yeah, Jabu and Forest Temple. The only item that can be in Ganon's castle are light arrows and the boomerang, because you need to get all 3 stones.
Yeah. We'll have the forest kit before we ever set foot in Ganon's.
Well, maybe not. You don't
because you need 2 strengths and a hookshot for spirit. Bow is likely to show up somewhere before that.
Yeah. I mean, the weekly seed I played earlier was Bow's the last item in Ganon's castle.
Yeah, and Barricade Path in Guan City is likely for Boomerang as a point for 2 from chat.
Yeah, and we did see a big chest. We saw one in the back of the boulder maze, in the bomb-locked bit.
And yeah, it would have to be a regular thing leading to rank, because Scale and Ruto's letter are both extremely available.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and right, this is the wallet for Emo. I just got extremely lost for a second.
Even with the routing differences...
Hey, lights.
Oh, we don't need to worry about them later. It's interesting that even with the routing differences... Oh, wait, Emo's an adult.
Yeah.
It's like they're in the same place at the same time, but that's mainly because I can't quite tell how big the Stone of Agony is. Whether it's an adult Stone of Agony or a child Stone of Agony. Yeah, I agree with chat. This is Dimasoda going to Ice Cavern.
And Aeronaut is
there
going
is
to focus, head into a Jabu, pick up a skull, and place floors in here.
Oh, I would be incredibly surprised if you get the skull here. That would be really pushing very hard.
There is one available in the basement, but actually, yeah, because Ruto's on F1, it is slow. Although he really has been hammering the skulls. That is one of the 29 in logic I counted. But it's yeah. Yeah, and Emo's looking at the path in Ice to see what this is. It's available in logic. It's good for info, whatever's here.
And we do have a trick that allows you to jump over King Zora's head, so you can get into Ice Cavern without needing to hand in Ruto's letter. It looks complex. It's actually not as hard as it looks. Just follow the steps and it just works.
That's an ouch for Aeronaut. Took a death too. I'm not sure what, but something.
Into one of the bubbles with Health Fairy floating away in the background. Okay.
Roar's not a big deal, just a bit of a minor time loss.
There's our green rupee. There is one green rupee in the game.
That's what's in icy waters. I can't tell.
Yeah, it's nighttime. What I can say is it's not a shiny item, which usually means I want to go pick it up.
Mm-hmm.
And Aeronaut is getting the basement skull.
Yep, he really is hammering 30.
Actually, in hindsight, it's not actually that slow because you've got Thor's Wind. You can just shoot right back up to the top. So, it's still slower than I like, but it's not as slow as I first thought.
Yeah, I mean, when you're this short on checks, and you know it's required, it's not... I mean, would I be doing this in the hammering hills? Pardon the terrible pun. Rushing skills this hard? Maybe not, but I can see the point here as well.
Yeah, I can. The thing is, you're not that dry on checks, because you have Path Ice Cavern. At this point, Ice Cavern's either going to be the item that cracks things open, or Song of Storms, which gives you 14 more checks. So I can definitely see why you rush Skulls, but I can also see an equally good reason to just leave Thor's Wind here and rush Ice Cavern.
Yeah. Well, we'll definitely be leaving for us here. Boomerang chest was not our progression item.
No.
We drop Rudo off here and set Feroz over this way. Oop, the emo fell right off.
Yeah, the geometry in Ice Cavern is one of the worst parts of the game. Changed my mind. Hate this dungeon. Not sure whether I hate this or Fire Temple more. And there's an item in Path Ice. This could just be the answer. Scale to hand in Ruto's letter to get bombs here. Bombs would make sense. Hammer would make sense too.
Yes. Oh, it can't be Hammer. We know where that is. Choose, which are not in logic, but do help.
Yeah, because choose are not a repeating resource, you can run out of them. They aren't a path. Only the repeatable bomb bag is actually considered as a logical item. But it's still an explosive. Still allows you to blow things up. Works just as well as a bomb. But there is still something in here in this path. It's not the blue rupee.
It is not the blue rupee. There are 3 different songs that could be here. It's Epona's Song of Time or Song of Storms. It's likely Epona's or Storms. Song of Time is the comedy option.
Wait, what songs are there other than that?
That's it.
No, I'm thinking, what songs are the other 2 on?
Colossus is one.
We haven't had the Ocarina of Time hinted. Oh no, we have. That was Minuet.
Colossus is one, Minuet's the other.
Oh, we've not been to
Idol
Minuet
SFM.
yet. Okay. I mean, it could be Song of Time. It could be Song of Time if Epona's song is in Minuet. Because that does give us a decent chunk of things to do in Gerudo Training Grounds.
Yeah. Well, actually, no, we still don't have explosives or bow or hookshot or bow. We have.
Oh, I didn't mean we can get it immediately, but
Yeah, hey Daphile. Yeah, 30 skulls is our hammer. We are 1 skull from doing that, according to my map tracker.
yeah.
Song of Time. This is the stupid suggestion. I'm well aware this is the stupid idea. But it could be Song of Time if there's a key in the first check of fire to go to the fire lava room for that 1 skull to hit 30.
I mean, I'd like to laugh along, but stranger things have happened.
Yeah.
I've seen 50 skull seeds where Minuet is path to go get the bean skull in Lost Woods. These things happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
If you can,
That
if
Bean
you can
Skull in
think
Lost
it has
Woods is
happened
one of our
once.
29, by the way. Yeah, Aeronaut skipped Open Grotto, which, might come back to bite, might not. Shadow isn't hard required, we don't know yet.
Interesting block push routine.
Oh yeah, without bombs, Emo's just electing to do the vanilla strats in here.
That's not my
Emo
vanilla
also
strat.
setting for roars,
I
I
don't
guess,
have
to get
hovers.
skulls later out of here.
Yeah, it makes sense.
And true from chat that
Yeah, you
opponents would
pressed the
give us
wrong
the
button.
Fortress Skull, which would give us 30 also, along with whatever's in the first check of GTG.
And that's the one thing Storms wouldn't give us. But there is a big chest. So it
Alright,
might still be an item.
there's our first hook shot, that does it.
There's our first
And
big shot.
Storms.
And Storms. Oh, that's a little bit grim, because then it could be either of those. You do need a hook shot for Twin Rover. That doesn't necessarily mean that that hook shot is the path.
No, it depends on where the other is and what our logical Colossus access is too.
Yeah. But that's 30 in logic now. And that's
Yeah, I'm
also
not-
a very...
30 is in
Very
logic by a
likely.
lot. Not gonna bother counting any further.
And this is a very more likely reason that the scale is path. Because right now the scale is required to go hand in Ruto's letter to then get this hook shot of ice. So if bomb bags are locked by the hook, there's a lot of things in the game that are locked by the hook. That would explain everything we've seen so far.
Yeah. Yeah, because this hook shot appears to just hard lock the seed.
Does it? I'm just trying to think of what the hook shot on its own does for us, other than skulls. You can get the hammer and go to Fire Temple.
Yeah, Forest is
But we've not
foolish,
got summertime.
so it's a moot point.
Yeah.
We can do some stuff
thing
in
is, even-
Shadow Temple. GTG is not as terrible a play now.
Thing is, even if Forest Temple wasn't foolish, you can do the first room, the Stalfos at the back. But we've not got a bow or Song of Time. So we'd be stuck there unless there was a key.
Yeah.
Shadow is a decent chunk of checks now. Yep, we can get them out of logic because we do have those bomb shoes.
Well, the
But we
first
need the
part
bomb
is
bag.
in logic, and then the back half is out of logic behind explosives.
Yeah. We are in logic up to the shortcut. Oh no, past the shortcut. We are in logic up to just before Bongo. We can get every check that isn't Bongo.
No, you
Shadow
need to
Temple.
blow up the wall by the compass chest. You know the BMOS room about,
Yeah,
a third of the
but we
way
got
in?
the 20 pack. We got the 20
Yeah,
pack.
but I meant
choose.
logically we can't.
Oh, logically we can, but
We can't when we can get to Bongo with shoes as well.
yeah, but then you need to do Bongo with a hook shot. And, ugh,
It's these
nobody
guys,
wants
they're
to do
fine with it. It's not their favorite thing, but they can do it.
that. Okay, well I can't do hook shot Bongo, and if I can't, then it doesn't matter.
Gonna see the UT
Now we're getting our
storms
first
here.
storms checks.
Ooh, big chest.
A big straight off the bat.
And Kak is path to Goma. Interesting. And there's our first bomb
And
bag.
there's our
That
bombs. That-
doesn't surprise me a ton.
yeah, there we go. That's this scale starting to open up our bomb bags.
Yeah, Yep.
And that is
As
Shadow
to-
Temple open now.
As to what was in CAC, it's not Bolero because there was nothing on the. Oh, we have other ways into Crater. It's not Bolero. We had a Zora tunic on Man on Roof, but Water Temple's pre-completed, so it's certainly not anything related to that. And it can't be a hammer, so I don't think we have our path out of CAC yet.
No. This is probably a boomerang. Or leads to a boomerang.
Bow, actually, which is
Bow.
interesting. Chickens.
Well, firstly, that's Shadow Temple completable. In logic, out of logic, whatever. And it's always an interesting seed when Shadow Temple is your first dungeon.
CAC shooting gallery, very possible, yeah, because it's that or Redead Grotto, I think, is our path. I've seen everything else in CAC.
Have you seen chickens?
Hinted dead in the grotto, and we saw it, so no.
That was hinted, okay. It is hard to keep track of these early checks when both runners went entirely different directions.
Yeah.
Not quite learned the commentator skill of chameleoning my eyes to look at both at once.
It's hard, yeah. Right now it's easy because we know we can ignore Aeronaut for the moment. Sorry, Aeronaut,
Yeah.
because he's doing checks we've already seen. But yeah, because Kayla was thinking of RSL earlier. RSL is particularly bad when you've got entrance random out the wazoo. Like the last one I come was Overworld ER and next Indoor Grotto ER. It's very hard to keep track of that insanity.
A message in
Try my
chat
best,
saying,
but,
so this
I got
storms,
lost.
this storms is locking the majority of the seed. Kind of. It's the combination of hookshot and storms. So
Yeah,
might not be
Ice
storms
is
locking everything,
extremely
but
path.
ice is.
Yeah, that scale is definitely our path out of Crater because it locks ice, which locks everything.
So far, it's locked hookshot and bombs, which are the two items that break the seed open.
And strength, okay. That's our first strength. And likely our path. We'll confirm what this is here.
You know, when I was listing off shadow items, I didn't actually consider Strength 1. There is a block that locks 2 checks in... logically locks 2 checks in Shadow. But you never really consider it, because there's a loud trick to completely skip the block. So... with hovers, and with Strength 1 path, I'd be leaning towards... with that knowledge, I'd be leaning towards Shadow Temple.
The game definitely, this definitely feels like we are logically required to have Requiem, which again, per previous discussion, not surprising.
Yeah.
Now, is it hard required because our boss key is on that side, or the only available small key is there? We don't know.
There's one other possibility.
Yes?
If we don't have Epona in Minuet's place, then we would need a long shot to cross Valley. You would need a long shot or Requiem.
Mm-hmm.
So even if Spirit is perfectly doable without Requiem, you might need Requiem just to get to the Gerudo area at all.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen that before, and it will certainly happen again, quite possibly in this seed, we'll find out. Can I first grab the Lost Bomb Grotto, though? This is one that can be forgotten in Lost It's Foolish, but can be really good information, so... good shout to check it for Emo, finding that... Yep, your bow's path to Baronade. Thank you. Or we think it's the bow, at least. Is that or Darunia? And Emo also going for skulls.
Brunier is available.
Yes, it is. We probably won't see it anytime soon. I know they're hoping to
No.
probably find Boomerang and route it with Baronade at this point. Although, well, unfortunately, it's the path to Baronade, as I say that.
Even beyond that, we've got an entire Foolish Forest Temple coming up, so...
So yeah, we'll see. That's not going to be immediate. Jabu is the medallion, so...
Jabu is one of our medallions, so it is required. It is the Shadow Medallion.
If it's Bow Path, that would imply that Bow is not required. That would mean that Bow is not required for our stones. Which is interesting given that Spirits of Stone and Requiem looks to be logically required, quite possibly.
Yeah.
Because right now, bows are only access to Bongo.
Yeah, and if the long shot is available, that takes away one of our big reasons that Requiem could be required.
Yep. Yeah,
There
for Bow to
are
be Path to
enough-
Baronade, you need to have long shot of... And if Requiem's are required and Bow is Path to Baronade, then you'd have to have long shot available. Hey, a bonus song, speaking of that.
Okay, so it is there. We have an entire Child's Born City available, so... As a runner, I wouldn't be focusing too hard on the bow until I'd taken a bomb bag to Childcorn City, yeah. Because you can very easily get lost in your own head following how would this bow work. I mean, to
I
your
might
point
be
yesterday,
hoping
with the
to
bow in
track down a
City.
Kokiris. I might try to see about following those hover boots instead, because I know that's Path to Goma for something.
Yeah.
Well, likely Path because
This-
nobody's been able to check Composer Grave Torches.
This is the kind of thing that I was talking about earlier, is that Aeronaut has pushed Skulls a lot harder than Imasoda, but Imasoda's going to be picking up 5 Skulls here in Forest while doing progress. Is going to be doing... has picked up 3 in Ice Cavern while doing progress. Has been slowly, in a slower way, pushing towards 30, but accomplishing more doing so. I mean, we've hit enough to complete Forest Temple without needing the hammer. So having the hammer later in the seed doesn't look like it's going to be much of a problem.
But especially, let's kind of see how it all works out as we find that KZ is a scam, as usual.
Ooh. Slippy. While it may sound mean to say that we hope Aeronaut doesn't immediately go to Kakariko shooting, if he does, it would mean double Foolish Forest for us.
Yeah, it's not the best
and as
engaging thing to
commentary,
watch.
as commentary, there's only so much I can vamp.
Yeah, I am not great at killing time.
We're getting a trip through river at the moment. Oh, for the remaining skulls. Camera's not been playing nice for Aeronaut in the last sort of 3 minutes.
Yeah.
Caused an issue going for the waterfall skull. The camera's awkward in river here. You can see it. It's not quite fixed cam, but it moves with the path rather than with Link's head. As far as I'm aware, it's the only place in the game that does it. And while it's nice and cinematic, Not the easiest for movement.
No. 20 skills for emo.
Not an interesting route through forest. One that needs the hover boots for you to do. Actually, it's not that much faster when you do have the well required. When the well isn't required, because then you can just shoot straight out of the room and upstairs. And shoot out straight out of the east side of the courtyard. Aeronaut is at 27. Not far behind each other when it comes to skulls.
I mean, Chikakiri Storm's
Aeronaut hasn't left.
We've seen that yet.
We have not, no.
Big chest.
It's also a big. It's going to be the other bomb bag.
Nope, more twos.
Oh, but it's explosives.
It is explosives.
If already having the 20 pack wasn't enough to make you Cavalier.
Aeronaut grinding a spot of money is definitely thinking Fire Temple. I've kind of lost track of his current skill count.
Aeronaut was at 27. So, will not be able to do the... Going for forest first. Makes sense, because you got Frore's Wind, you can leave it there. And come back later. I think it's pretty a safe bet, I would say, that Aeronaut's going to go to Goron City. Take the 30 bomb chews he's just picked up.
Yeah. No, 25. Unfortunately, that was the 5-pack in the Kokiri Storm's Grotto.
Ugh. Yeah, I better start saving them up.
It's not too bad for now, because he knows he's getting his hammer soon.
Yeah. Also knows the Goron City's path. Maybe only for Baronade to get Jabu done, but it's still progress. You'll need to go there at some point anyway, so you might as well. Aeronaut has also already peeked that big chest. Knows that it's the there is a big chest in the maze. So knows that it doesn't necessarily need the hammer for anything in Goron City. And it's going to pick up his last 2 skulls here in Forest Temple.
That'll be the lobby and the first chest, and the one on top of the tree.
Yeah. I seem to do the courtyard as well if there's a key. I forgot to check whether there's a key in the first 2 rooms.
I don't remember offhand. And there
Okay,
is.
so there is a key. So we'll see Aeronaut do the courtyard as well, because the courtyard is now in logic, because you can go through the first door with the key, and then use the hover boots to get to the balcony with the floor master. So even though he doesn't have strength, bow, or Song of Time, can still get Summer Force done. longingly at the empty slot in his menu that should hold the bow.
Pia doesn't have a strength upgrade, so you won't be able to get anywhere anyway in here.
No, you can. You just climb up the
Well, I
first
meant
ladder
not
and use the
past
hover
the
boots to
bow,
get to the floor.
but even if he had a bow, he wouldn't be going anywhere without a strength.
Yeah.
There has been absolutely nothing in here aside from the Winter Heart piece, I guess, on Red Poe's chat notes. It's very uninteresting forest temple.
I mean, yeah, show me an interesting foolish forest and I'll call you a liar.
There, I forgot forest is foolish, so there is no, so we wouldn't have found anything interesting in here.
It literally as uninteresting as it can be.
Well, no, it's not as uninteresting as it can be, Kale, though. I have seen on one particularly, unfortunately memorable restream on the Silver Gauntlets some years back, forest temples times 6 in one restream.
People forest.
Yes, it was co-op, so 4 players, and there was one runner on each team who had technical issues, and that resulted in them losing some progress. One was FPA-able, the other was not. But progress was lost. They both had to redo 2 of the 4 runners had to redo all of Forest Temple, and so we saw Forest Temple 6 times in the same scene from the same set of runners. We were really, really bored of Forest Temple.
Part of the reason that I randomized my music, because I got so sick of hearing Forest Temple.
But yeah, Kayla, that is the most boring Forest Temple, is when you've seen it for the 6th time on the one restream.
Luckily, we've got 2 of them going on at the moment, and we'll only see half of a forest after this, once Aeronaut comes back to do the rest.
Yep.
And that's 30. Aeronaut is gonna beat Imasoda. No, not quite. Soda has managed to beat him to the falling ceiling room. This is 3 key forest.
Yep.
As it implies, it means you can do forest with only 3 keys. It's Aeronaut made it look easy, that hover boots into side hop, into jump slash. It's not. It's not as easy as it looks. But it means you can activate the Scarecrow. That Scarecrow is supposed to only be able to be activated from the balcony the Scarecrow is on. Honestly, I don't know why it exists.
Yeah, you wouldn't really backtrack up there in vanilla, but if that exists, you're only supposed to do so from the balcony. But as it turns out, the door frame here of this door is at the same height as the balcony, and the Scarecrow hitbox apparently is height-based or something like that.
I think it's just a big plane.
Yeah, I guess
wide.
It's just a big plane, and and the balcony door frame happens to be high enough to be high enough to hit that vertical plane, or that horizontal plane, which is really stupid.
It's like the Scarecrow next to the fishing as adult in Lake. Its activation square is massive, and then you compare it to the one in Sacred Forest Meadow, which is sort of 9 by 9 square in front of in the weak corridor going into the maze.
Mm-hmm.
There's no real consistency to how those Scarecrow boxes were put together. It feels like they were a late addition to development.
Mm-hmm.
Such as the Scarecrow in Zora's Fountain, which
Oh
leads
yeah,
on
that
top
one's
of the
a
rock,
silly one.
which has nothing on it. Thankfully, they saw their error there in the 1.2 version, the one that got released to Europe and North America, in that they put a single red rupee on top. That's what the Scarecrow's for. Well worth the trip.
Aeronaut's back in CAC, so finding out Redead Grotto is dead and is going to pick up his bow shortly. Or not bow, strength upgrade.
I
was going to pick up...
an unfortunate order to do things. Going into Forest without the strength and bow, then going into Kakariko without the bow, is going to be picking up the bow now, then getting the strength out of Kakariko, and then going back to Forest. So, unfortunately doing the 3 places in the worst possible order, as opposed to Emo just getting the bow into strength into Forest.
Really, yeah, the
Forest
order
Winter's
just happened
some
to
of the
work
sting
out.
out of that.
Yeah, the order just worked out much better for Emo here.
Forest Winter's taken some of the sting out of that.
That for sure. We're going to see Crater Fairy, which is a new check as PG stand for Emo, so it'll finally be out of Forest Temple on their side.
Yeah. Only 50% of a forest left to go.
It's also our first required
We got a
dungeon
winner
key.
heart piece. Yes, yes.
And outside Gan's Castle Fairy is dead, so that's our last sometimes hint. And that's our last. And we have not seen a Frogs 2 hint. I don't think they care a ton necessarily, but we haven't seen one.
I think the sad part about Requiem being on all dungeons is that before any of our required dungeons were in Logic, all dungeons was in Logic.
Yeah, you're correct. I think Forest and Shadow became available at the same time, logically, but yeah.
Yeah, the bow.
Well,
depending on if there was a key. Depending on if there was a key in the Strength 1 locked bit in Shadow, it might have been Shadow first, because we got the bow first before the Strength.
True, yeah, good point.
So, it's just unfortunate Dodongo's Cavern and Shadow Temple were our first 2 dungeons, and neither of them is required.
Nope.
Now we're not getting the bomb bag, into the bow, into the strength, into the forest again. As that is going to be his first indication of the Kakariko Tagoma hint. First indication that the archeries can have something for him. You get it. The red rupee in Fountain makes all of the difference. Money routing is important. It was Aeronaut that had peaked the score on Maze. So we're getting our first unrequired dungeon dip here. Imasoda is going into Zongo's Cavern. There are 7 checks in here. It's relatively quick, and it's got low item requirements.
Also some skulls, because Emo's not quite is a little bit still is missing some of those.
That's true. Normally I'm someone who doesn't go to the unrequired Dodongo's Cavern easily, but with skulls to sweeten the deal, sure, I'll go.
I don't think Aeronaut checked Child I don't remember if Aeronaut did chickens, but if he hadn't, that's confirmation that you don't need it. And that's him buying a tunic, so we'll see Fire Temple soon.
Yeah, switch to the Master Sword. It's definitely a Fire Temple dip. Because the Flare Dancer on the first floor shares a damage table with Ganon, meaning that it takes 1 damage from everything that isn't the Master Sword, and extra damage from the Master Sword. Why this is the case? Probably an accident by the developers.
There's some really weird quirks in the original game's coding. Like this isn't us from the randomizer code that's being goofy. This is just the original game has some really silly quirks.
Yeah. It's because they share the damage table, so it's probably somebody put a 1 where a 2 should have been. Yep, there was indeed a key on the first check in fire. So, we're not technically hammer-locked yet. But it would have put the Song of Time skull into play if we picked up Song of Time. The dream was real. Having magic for this room is so pleasant.
Yeah.
Just lure them all into one corner and spin attack. When your quick spins work, but... Oh, the Stone of Agony backflipping is such a great animation.
This model in general is quite the trip.
I think the only one I prefer more is the, why start with Prelude when you can start as Prelude.
I don't think I've seen that one yet.
Oh, the model is just the Prelude note.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing in the Dodongo's Cavern Bridge.
Another key for Aeronaut.
Dodongo's Cavern coming up pretty bare.
Gonna say, yeah, this place is a snooze. Tetsu Pam has a vending machine for VGS, that is funny, yeah.
Pepsi Man is another good model.
That just reminds me of ALT2PR's Pepsi Sprite, because ALT2PR has 3 tunics, green, blue, and red. Blue and red each double defense from the previous level. And so the soda can Sprite has, starts with Sprite, actually, because that's the green tunic. Then it goes to Pepsi for the blue tunic and Coke for the red tunic. It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they kind of just ran out of ideas for items when they got to Ice Palace.
I think, yeah. Bomb just bounced off the wall there for Evo.
Yeah. Still though, 4 skulls out of the... 4 skulls out of the trip at least, even if no items.
Yeah.
Or relatively quick skulls. Yeah, this is why I don't like doing unrequired. Dodongo's Cavern at the best of times. I know there's a lot of people who swear by rushing it as soon as you get bombs. Nah, it never pays out for me. Of course, half the time skipping it doesn't pay out for me either, but...
Yeah.
Really empty. This is looking actively foolish.
Yeah. This so far is definitely a snooze.
Would have been much nicer to get Dodongo's Cavern foolish, then Forest Temple foolish.
Forest Foolish is not terribly helpful.
No. Not when you need to... All it does is make Forest more boring, which is honestly admirable. So how high do we need to go in Fire Temple? No items so far. No keys. One key here. Now, this is a big question. Is Fire bow locked? Depends on whether there's a key in this next chest. The answer is, we are indeed bow locked. So there is something else in Goron City.
Yeah, that's not terribly surprising.
It's gonna be somewhere in Child.
Yeah. Probably. I feel like this is a deja vu from yesterday, where we had.
Yeah.
A villain in Goron City adult that could not be pathed, but it's for this actually the exact same reason because of the key on this chest. And so Iron Boots had to be on the Runia yesterday.
And the fun thing is, the other reason is the same as well, in that if the bow was path, it would be hinted for Forest Temple instead. Because it would mean there would only be one item hintable for Phantom Ganon, so it would want to pick that for Phantom Ganon instead. Yeah, it's Child Goron City. We've seen all of Adult. We haven't picked up our hinted item yet. We now have a bomb bag, and we already had Lullaby and Saria's song. I think we're not going to be seeing it anytime soon, though. I think both runners will want to find the Kakiri sword before going back Child. At which point you should be able to loop. Yeah, you can loop Deku and Jabu into the same Child trip. And considering you've got a scale, you're not that far away from each area. Further and further up we go in Fire. One nice thing about having to climb this high in Fire Temple anyway is it kind of gets rid of the question, do I do the top of Fire? At this point your boss key is in the compass or higher, at which point you might as well just do the whole thing. It gets rid of the question. Because many seeds have been decided on, did you go to Deep Fire? If the question doesn't exist, you can't lose it. You can't give the wrong answer.
Nope.
Imasoda is doing as we were saying. It's going to be pushing into Shadow Temple in an attempt to find that Kakiri sword. He on highest Goron. Can't remember how many keys we've seen.
I have no idea,
we do have one big in Fire.
Fire arrows of no real use.
No, the only thing that could lock is the Gold Gauntlets chest in Gaz Castle, which was already hinted to be nothing. Yeah, Fires might be Hovers locked. It just depends on whether there's a key here at the top. Another slingshot in Shadow Temple. Again, though, the basement skip in Deku is in logic in SGL. It's not normally in standard tournaments, but we did switch on for this. So the slingshot is not logically relevant.
No. Yeah, Shadow Dive for Emo hovers our potential path to Goma, and it's not an unreasonable idea to take a look to see if they're in here. And this, of course, we don't know if Requiem is required or not. But having
Actually, yeah, it
PTC
doesn't
Emo's just deciding to bite the bullet and go Shadow Temple here.
Yeah.
Which reasonable play here.
You could have the thought, oh, maybe it hovers for Fire Temple. It hovers in strength for Fire Temple instead, and go to Fire Temple first. But you can get skulls in Shadow. Fire Temple's a lot less likely to have a chunk that's hovers locked that could have your item.
Mm-hmm.
I perfectly agree with going and doing Shadow Temple first with the hover goods.
Oh yeah, this is not an unreasonable play to go in. And there's boss key for Aeronaut all the way on Hammer Chest.
Yeah, counting the keys. Fire Temple is hovers locked, but only the completion of the dungeon. There's no actual item locked by hovers. Yeah, I think it has to be a key on Volvagia, which means that 2 keys are locked at the very top of Fire Temple, which you would need to go knock the pillar down. How many is Emo at?
Didn't quite catch
29.
it, sir.
Yeah. 29 skulls on Emo's side. It's going to be getting the last one in the pot room.
And Aeronaut doing fast trade on Volv, although getting a bit troll hold. For those who are wondering, we've talked multiple times about the interesting quirks with OOT's coding. The short version of how that strat works, unfortunately Volvagia came out of the hole it originally pops out of, which messes up the strat. The idea though is that there's 2 hitboxes, one that flies around and one that you play whack-a-mole with. The hitbox that flies around stays in the hole it last flew into while you play whack-a-mole, so you can hit it with explosives. Is the basic idea.
Yeah, unfortunately, when Volvagia was stunned, Aeronaut blew up one of the bomb trees just too close to her. So the bomb hit the active hitbox, the one from the Volvagia that pops out of the ground, which sent her into a second phase of flying. Slow, but we do have a Goron tunic, so it's only slow, it doesn't cause death or anything.
Oh,
and there
strength.
is another strength.
That is logical strength too, because you need a first strength logically to beat Climb Fire Temple.
Okay, so Kakariko would be a strength 2. Oh no, you do need to climb fire, don't you?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Yeah, I was looking at the tracker to see if there was anything else in Kakariko.
No, it has to be strength, and that is strength 30. 1. Alright, and Aeronaut's soft to Forest Temple, so snooze fest on that side. And Emo has decided that they are getting out of here. Okay. It's just going until they hit 30 skulls and they're going to Fire Temple instead. Not an unreasonable play, actually, considering.
Yeah.
No strength 2 is hovers, bow, and strength locked Shanok, so
Yep. So what we are looking at is strength 2 being the path to Goma.
No, it's strength 1, because this one is not available.
Yeah, but the hovers led to the strength 2.
No, no, it's still strength 1 KLO because strength 2 is not available. Hovers led to strength
Yeah, but
2, but it could still be... But that's not a guarantee either.
it's not the guarantee, but everything is pointing at that at the moment.
Well, that's true, fair enough.
There
I mean, it
is
could all
the,
just be sitting over in Spirit Temple or something, because hovers plus things, so, yeah.
Training grounds, the strength 2 room in training grounds is still in logic.
True. We'll see, though, that's...
Then again, walking over to Spirit is also in logic, because we've got the hover boots. Magic. Blood dive, wow. Well, Aeronaut's in our second Forest Temple of the day. Because I wasn't paying attention to the... Shadow Temple.
Yeah, Shadow was a snooze, for the most part. Got skulls, that was bad.
Yeah, I'm just checking the Crusher room, where there was a key in Crusher room. If there's a Strength 1 locked key, then that would also be something you could point at. Oh yes, so it is. So that's 1 key, which is our second key. 2 keys. Okay, so Shadow is Strength 1 locked. And
Hovers locked.
Hovers locked. So both Spirit Temple and Shadow Temple fit the bill for both our Goma hints. Which isn't exactly helpful, because when you're pointing at Shadow or Spirit or Training Grounds, those are the 3 densest locations in the game.
Oh yeah, none of them are very clear, and we don't have a Mirror Shield still. Mirror Shield could be anywhere. Our Twin River Path is resolved for Hookshot and Song of Storms for everything, so that's really not helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, Ice Cavern unfortunately locked everything, so it could be either of those its path.
Either of those two paths for pretty much anything that's left in the seed, which is incredibly unhelpful.
So we needed bombs. I think we also needed a hook shot for the Scarecrow. Which would mean Strength 2 is probably Ice Cavern locked. Via being able to beat Fire Temple, whether that's bombs or hook shot.
Well, Strength 1 was on Adult Shooting Gallery, and our only bows in the Goron City Maze, which is locked behind Bombek, behind a Storm Scrowdle or Hammer, which is on 30 Skulls, which is equally not available without Ice Cavern.
Yeah. So my point there is that the Ice Cavern is probably doesn't even need to point at the Mirror Shield.
No, it can be literally anything.
2, yeah.
It could be Strength 2, it could be that hookshot for that matter, to be honest. It could be basically anything.
It could be the bow for 1 chest at the very top. But at this point, you kind of just have to ignore the hint.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yes, Ice Cavern is path because it locks half the seed. Great, thank you. Was Ice Cavern locked? Everything? Alright, thanks. That doesn't tell us any that. Yeah, at this point, it's not going to help with Mirror Shield.
Yeah. And the thing is, because that stuff in the Ice Cavern locked the Strength 2, the Mirror Shield might still be in some random Sphere 1 check out there. If there's any left.
Adult Lake would be a really silly spot. Nobody's seen it, we haven't gotten any hints for it. And skill was tier 0 per some rather early discussion.
I mean, I think the worst case there is for Kakiri Sword to be in Spirit and then Mirror Shield to be in Deku. Just to double your walking distance.
Yeah, yeah.
Where Aeronaut goes next after this, I would very much expect him to be chasing that Strength 2. Or no, he's only got Strength 1.
He's going to take his bow down to Cac and grab
Kakariko.
Strength 2, yeah. And then I think he's going to take that and head out head out west. He hasn't touched Shadow, he hasn't touched DC. I would want to go see... And with Strength 2 now, I would go and poke your head over that way and see if that doesn't solve your headache.
It'll definitely solve one headache of, do I need to do all dungeons?
Yeah, because I think I would like that information.
Now that they've got all the items to beat Shadow and Dodongo's Cavern, finding out whether you need to do both of them immediately is kind of the aim here. Because when you can do them, you want to know. Like, if you didn't have Dins, maybe it's not as important to go hunting, but when you do...
Well, Aeronaut doesn't have Dins yet. That's, which in some ways simplifies his choice of, well, he can't go to Shadow Temple if he wanted to.
I would expect him to get it, though, on the way to the west.
Yeah, true, because he'd play Serenaded for Eponas.
I think it would be quite bold to skip the field grottos on the way.
Oh, yeah.
Either way, it's going to be something new we see next.
Yep. Because, yeah, last 2 minutes happened a bit of a snooze while Emo does Forest and Aeronaut does fire. Did fire, so...
And now we're vice versa. Aeronaut does Forest, Nemo does Fire.
Or, yeah, sorry, words got backwards. Deku Hints is new. There's not much information we're really missing, just Frogs 2. And hey, there's that!
There's
Alright.
Frogs too. I think what Aeronaut doesn't have. Maybe one of the duels doesn't have.
Maybe. Oh yeah, I see Twinrova. I think Aeronaut should have just about all of them, but it's not terribly urgent any which way. Oh yeah, we'll finally get a look at Composer Grave Torches.
Emo did go there with Dins earlier. That's how we confirmed it was the hover boots.
Never mind, right, forgot.
But it does make more sense why he was equipping the torches. I was worried he was going to try and do fire arrow entry, but...
And that's a point from chat. Aeronaut didn't do Backlake, and he actually doesn't have either OOT, and he is missing a sometimes, which was OOT, because the 2 copies for that were Backlake and Open Grotto. And he definitely did Backlake, and he definitely did do Open Grotto, so... that.
It's going to be his Strength 2.
Just grabbing a spot of money, because he actually can't afford it.
Yep. You're gonna have to sell bugs again. Begging salesman back with a vengeance. He rejected the bugs 3 times earlier. There we go. That is a faster way of getting money than I normally do, though. I always forget you can sell bugs. the item to sell because it sells for 100 rupees. It's a very close save. That rupee. Oh, missed one. Didn't see that he missed one at the start. Cutting these bow shots very fine.
Yeah. And there we go. Strength 2 pickup for Aeronaut.
Consider his next step. Yeah, I think this might be a field to west area. Which is equally good. You can serenade and get across, but doing prelude's a little bit slower, but it means you can do north field as well as south field. Or as if he didn't read the... Oh, he did go into Trail Storms. So he will have had the big Poe hint. Not to peak Hectite, and will be skipping Field Grottos.
Interesting.
So we'll not be getting Dins.
Nope.
I mean, if nothing's in Shadow, it's not gonna harm him because he's got fire arrows, but...
Here.
Ignoring Boulder. I think he already did Boulder with a Bomb Chew earlier. As child. Get a little peek at this. There is a big.
Good chest.
But is it anything interesting? It is not.
Nope. Just a Ghost in Ears Love, which doesn't really do anything.
Well, I mean, both runners are still at sort of 3 hearts each, so... It's not useless. They have got Iron Knuckles and a Ganon to fight. Both of which will kill them both in 2 hits, guaranteed. Probably 1 if they're missing any health.
But I wouldn't
Here we go,
work for these guys.
Yeah. And again, a thing with the attacks that take 4 hearts, it's very easy to hit with an Iron Knuckle. Doesn't matter how good or experienced a runner you are.
Hey,
Everyone
Starfold.
gets
Nope,
killed
we
by the
are missing quite a few things for Go mode. We have no idea where Mirror Shield is. Kokiri Sword is a big question mark. Boomerang we think is probably in Child Goron City. Yeah,
To note,
we've got some
Starfall,
questions.
to note, Starfall, if you haven't followed the SGL rule settings, the Ganon's boss key is on the Shadow and Spirit medallion. It's on the Light Arrow cutscene, and the bridge is the 3 spiritual stones. So, if we were doing 6 medallions, then yes, it would just be Boomerang, but this is not standard win conditions. We still have Deku and Spirit to complete and to get into Ganon, and then Jabu for the key to Ganon's door. Yeah, we do have what am I looking for? We do have Requiem on Burning Kakariko, which is our All Dungeons equivalent, which is our Song of Time equivalent. If Spirit is Requiem locked, we do need to go do Dodongo's Cavern and Shadow Temple. Imosoda is in a much better position to do all dungeons because they did pick up Din's Fire out of Open Grotto, which Aeronaut has not done. Skipped on the way to the Gerudo area.
Evo, though, did find Dins, which means that they're back in Shadow, having cleared out the first half of it earlier, and we'll see if this has any required items in it. We do know that hover boots are path to Goma for something, although we really don't know what for. Right now, they're a logical wasteland crossing, actually, because they're away across wasteland.
Unfortunately, Aeronaut went into wasteland at dusk, so not quite day, not quite night, which unfortunately gives the entire area a kind of orangey tinge, i.e. the same color as the sand. So it's the worst time of day to see anything. It basically makes the entire map have the same sort of haze as this first section, which makes crossing without the lens by eyesight. I could never get any of these setups to work. But Imosoda is in Shadow because our Queen Goma path hints pointed to the hover boots and strength 1. Now currently Shadow Temple is hover boots and strength 1 locked. Spirit Temple is strength 1 and hover boots locked. And part of Training Grounds is as well, so we're really not narrowing down.
No, and originally Twin River Path was Ice Cavern, which locks the entire seed, which is very unhelpful as guidance goes at this point.
And yeah, as chat has mentioned, Imosoda doing this means doesn't even need to worry about crossing the wasteland. Is going to have a Requiem before they even touch the Gerudo area. Especially because beating Shadow Temple puts you directly outside of the Burning Kakariko.
Is that? On the Colossus Arch?
Is that what, sorry?
I was trying to figure out what's on the Colossus Arch. It's dark and it looks like a pair of iron. It looks like it might be the top of iron boots.
I was looking at Emo's side. Speed gaming videos.
Although, do not take my word for it. My eyesight is garbage, and I'm really, really bad at it. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to blood dive for that. Now that I've got much time because Emo has made a short work of Bongo.
Chat says it's irons. Okay, thanks. And big chest on Adult Spirit.
This is certainly a possibility.
Sword, okay.
And the Kakiri sword. There's the answer. Strength 1 is Strength 1 and Strength 2. And the hover boots gets you Strength 2.
Locks both. Hovers lock both, yep, so.
And yeah, I've VOD dived, and that definitely is irons.
Alright. Requiem pickup for Emo. And hey, here's a key.
Okay.
That said, it isn't over. Aeronaut does have a fire source, so a fire arrow, so we don't have to worry about bow shenaniganry.
Yep. And Emo Soda hasn't lost as much time as it might look, even if Spirit is completable, because by getting Requiem, you can just head straight there. Although it looks like they're going to go do Child Spirit first.
Child Spirit and check out what their Goron City path is.
Yeah.
It looks like there were no keys in Adler Climb.
But to be fair, personally, I hate Child Spirit, so I'd have just been risking it. It'll be nice for Aeronaut, though. Having that Kakiri sword, we'll be able to try and we'll be able to loop that Goron City dip in with.
Oh, Emo's going to the well.
Deku.
This is
Song of Storms is path.
Song of Storms is path for your first bomb hack.
So, it also might not be path at all. Might have been the hookshot instead.
True.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Mirror Shield down here.
I wouldn't either.
And it's also as a check per second ratio, bottom of the well is the densest dungeon. Aeronaut with a classic trick that I took way too long to realise was a thing. If you run out of magic, just kill the floor master. Each small hand drops a magic, guaranteed. It's the only thing in its drop table.
Another
So
small key on Child Climb.
Yeah, so we've got 3 keys to get that key in the
Zero lock key.
Yeah, the Zero lock.
Now the question really for Aeronaut at this point is he has plenty of keys to beat Spirit. The question is that boss key on Child's side is his biggest concern right now.
Yeah.
He's really hoping
Even
that's
so
not
does
the
a
case.
Even so does a
but we'll
child.
find out.
If it is there, then definitely good for him.
Yeah.
Definitely bad for him and good for them.
Yeah. And Big Chest is Strength 3!
Well, that explains why the hoppers were needed. Yes, 3 seeds in a row that I've watched that had Strength 3 in Spirit.
It is kind of a running joke that Strength 3 is always in Spirit. But yeah, Hovers and Strength will unlock both other strengths.
Okay, there is a big in. Wow. Is it anything useful?
Last slingshot.
Unfortunately not. We do get to see whether Child Spirit is required, though. Both logically and hard.
Just 2 checks left for our final key in Spirit Temple, one of which is foremost, the other ones are up here. And then boss key could be any of our remaining checks except for obviously Twin Rova.
Either of those. Are not showing off by
Small.
checking whether they're big or not. Then opening them anyway.
Probably was looking to see if the last key was there.
Or for health.
Because that gives Aeronaut info on how many items are in Child Spirit. He doesn't need the fifth key, but it tells him how many checks are in Child Spirit.
Also conveniently bumped him up to back up to 5 hearts. And he can survive one hit from that Iron Knuckle.
And there's key 5.
And no big key on the right hand either.
Nope.
So
We
we're
obviously
down
don't have
to-
a mirror shield, so our last check in here is going to be the boss key chest.
If the boss key doesn't show up, do you start pushing?
Big chest
Do you
and
start
Child
pushing
Spirit.
Shadow Temple? But
Well,
also, yes,
Aeronaut
that is a
can't.
chest.
I think he goes
Yeah, but you
Deku
start
next.
hunting for Dins.
Oh no, I think he does Deku and grabs whatever's in Child Goron City next, is what his next play will be.
Yeah.
That K-Sword. And, okay, good news for Aeronaut. It's Child Spirit. Well, good news possibly. No keys in Child Spirit. Boss key is on adult side somewhere.
Yeah, up until Mirror Shield's here.
But yeah, I was gonna say. Yeah, that's what I realized as I was saying. It's like, Mirror Shield could still be on this one big chest, which would be quite the troll. Okay, not there. And our big chest is gold scale.
Eh.
Well,
Uh,
that's
that is an
vaguely
interesting
funny. That gold scale and
Yeah.
irons are both hard Requiem locked.
Both Lab Dive and Tektite Grotto, both hard Requiem locked.
Yeah, that's interesting. Is
I don't think, I definitely didn't manage to see what was in the bottom of Zora's Fountain.
I have no idea what that was.
Yeah, Imasoda was peeking it at night. And I can't do that when it's my screen, let alone me looking at someone else's screen of his screen.
Well play for Aeronaut as well. Interesting.
Oh.
Wait, Aeronaut skipped that?
Yeah, guess the Colossus Fairy wasn't that important.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
That's
On the
going
plus
to be a
side,
last
you've got
location.
Requiem. I don't think so. You are
Well,
going
Aeronaut
to... you've
doesn't
got
have
Requiem.
That's the thing, Caleb. Aeronaut
That's true,
doesn't
doesn't
have
Re-
Requiem.
I don't
Is
see him
that-
blacking that out of his mind entirely.
But he doesn't have a reason to go back to Colossus. He has no Requiem. He's not going back there fast until... It's possible he forgot it.
Oh, I didn't do that.
Yeah,
Just
but
that- I didn't
he's
do
not.
that
But
factor.
he's gonna have other things to do. Like if he finds Dins, he's gonna go Shadow first. DC's a more appealing play than Colossus Fairy. I think it's probably just a simple. Probably. I mean, I think Aeronaut probably went Spirit first because he wanted to check if it was AD, and then just forgot about it coming out of Spirit. But that's a really
Yeah.
big ouch. I have also seen runners completely forget that check, Shannock. One particular race comes to mind where first magic was there, and the other magic was a really stupid chain of stuff.
I mean, in the majority of cases, in the majority of seeds, you don't enter Colossus from there. The majority of seeds you enter via Requiem. So, you know, it's not your muscle memory, Colossus.
Yeah, I get it, but it is an ouch.
Yeah, even if he does remember it anytime soon, it's still gonna eat time out his finish.
Oh, for sure.
And Aeronaut was 34th, I think you said?
He was 34th, a good score, and Emo's 30th. Right now, Aeronaut has a score of 84.5, Emo a score of 86.78. Before this, they're both borderline. Unfortunately, this is going to likely cost Aeronaut any chance of top 32 in SGL quals this year. Emo, depending on things, still might have a chance. They both came into this basically needing a good score to make top 32, and unfortunately, that Mirror Shield Brain Fart might do it might cost Aeronaut it, unfortunately. Nothing's done till it's done, but that's not great.
Might help Emosoda on Restream, but having done all of Shadow and well, and no avail, I can see a lot of people in this race room not doing those.
Yeah, because if Aeronaut had gotten that Mirror Shield, he'd be in a really good spot right now.
Yeah. Having avoided Shadow, DC, and the well. Because really, with that, if it is Boomerang in Goron City,
yeah,
then you're sorted, really. I mean, the only thing I can think of that would be in Goron City that isn't. No, it's only the Boomerang. It's the only thing I can think of.
I guess best chance of that, I think, of Mirror Shield is if he decides to try GTG before Shadow. Like, if he needs to not find Dins, I think.
Yeah.
Aeronaut needs to not find Dins, use his Furores to head back in the direction of GTG and check Colossus Fairy on the way there, but otherwise, good luck.
On the plus side,
He has, for what it's worth, already started Jamu, so that is a bit of a couple minutes he'll save on the current endgame here.
I'm not sure, because I think he might be in go mode by the time Emosoda gets into Jabu.
Yeah, that's true too.
You're saving the time to get in, but you know, Emosoda's got Serenade and a scale. It's really just a direct walk in. On the plus side for Aeronaut, I think the next step after this child play, is going to be Training Grounds, because that's the densest place. And the way you get to Training Grounds...
The question is how he gets there.
Yeah. But if he goes straight to Training Grounds, which would be Furore's Wind and through Requiem, or does he do it via Serenade and Southfield?
Yeah, if he does it by way of Furore's and reversing, then he gets Mirror Shield on the way. Hopefully. If he does it by Serenade and Southfield, he's getting Dins, which is a giant time sink.
Yeah, and even then you go do Training Grounds and then Shadow, so you're losing 2 dungeons worth of time.
Yep. Alright, and our Boomerang's in the Goron pod, it looks like.
Have we seen Hot Rodder?
Yeah, Hot Rodder was nothing.
Did.
Okay,
There it
haven't gone
is.
crazy. Boomerang is there.
Yeah. I mean, I was racking my brain to think of any item it could be that wasn't the boomerang, and couldn't think of any.
Yeah, no, we've got Strength 3. We know where both Gold Scale and Iron Boots are. We've got Tunics. Yeah.
Even then, the tunics he couldn't even point us to places, because Fire Temple's required and Water's dead.
Yeah. I guess it could have technically been claim check, but that would have been a really obvious, okay, just turn it in.
Yeah.
No, Frog's won. Where is he going? That's where he's heading. And there's Boss Key, Top of Spirit.
One slight time save is Imasoda might not get light arrows before the hit.
Yeah, Zora diving is.
If you're in go mode with Jabu to do, I wouldn't do any of the domain checks.
Yeah, no,
You'd just do Jabu and then go get the Ganon. You'd do Jabu and then you just go get the Ganon in.
So that'll take a
Unfortunately,
few
it means
extra
you
minutes
could-
for emo.
Yeah. Another age change, another serenade, another swim, and then the game.
It's not terribly fast.
Yeah, it's just an annoying extra handful of minutes. Okay. So Arnott's doing Deku first. Yeah, 6.5 a dozen which one you do first, really, but... Well, it definitely isn't, because Arnott's already got Froor's Wind and Jabu. You do Deku first, and then you just walk straight back into Deku. We know there's not going to be anything particularly useful here in Deku.
No. I am
Because
thinking
we are
here.
in...
No mode.
So go ahead, what were you thinking?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, we are in no mode from the chat.
No, which reminds me though, now that since we're prone to seeing stuff we know is either dead or that we've seen already, what do you think our first finish time is going to be?
Yeah, it is a tough question.
Because
That is a tough question, because there's so many ways to do this quickly.
For sure. We did have 31 people enter this race. We are on a 15-minute delay, so I'm looking at race time, but I will not spoil. We are had 31 people in this race, not of high-level finishers, so I feel like someone probably had something of a similar route to Aeronaut, where they managed to skip the AD bait and hopefully didn't skip that mirror shield.
Yeah.
Because if Aeronaut hadn't skipped mirror shield, he would have finished Spirit in about the time he did the well in, I think. Skip the well.
Yeah.
And then go mode Deku and Jabu, which is still a fair few minutes, admittedly, as here's a big chest that has our long shot funny game. That's extremely hookshot locked on
At least the long shot can't. Yeah, at least the long shot can't lead you astray.
No.
That's quite literally one thing in the game that's locked by long shot.
But I feel like if Aeronaut hadn't missed Mirror Shield, he'd be... Well, Jabu's kinda slow. Somewhere in the... within 15 minutes of finishing-ish? Maybe a bit... Because he would have...
Let's call it 8 for Jabu, including the movement time to and from. Call it another 2 minutes. Let's call it 3 minutes for Deku to actually get there, and then it's a sort of 6-minute climb of Gan's castle. So you're talking 20.
He's already at the end of Deku, and it would have been faster in this theoretical go mode Deku KLO.
Oh, from here. All right. Yeah. I thought you meant from being Spirit.
K-Sword was on the Spirit Compass chest. You physically need a hookshot to get it.
It's one of the 2 hookshot locked checks in Spirit. It's that and the boss.
There's probably a couple other reasons why it's hookshot locked, but that's the most immediate reason I can think of.
Yeah, depending on whether there was a key in the shortcut chest of fire as well, Scarecrow might have been required.
Mm-hmm.
If that chest isn't a big, my brain immediately erases it. Surprisingly little of this seed has been hookshot locked.
Yeah, honestly.
Especially considering it was Ice Cavern.
Mm-hmm.
And Ice Cavern locked everything.
Yeah. But yeah, as far as finish times though, I think we're gonna see our first finishes somewhere. At this point, yeah, somewhere in the 220 mark. Certainly will sub 230 here, despite some of the shenaniganry of the early game.
I think there's going to be a clear divide between finishers. Because with every qual, there's the people who would rush AD in this scenario, and the people who wouldn't. So you're going to have the people who've done the well and Shadow and Dodongo's Cavern, and then there's going to be the people who haven't. And I think there's going to be one group of finishers, and then another group of finishers.
Yeah, that would make sense.
How the bigger quals normally go.
Yeah. Emo themselves is probably going to be around a 230, I want to say. Gobo Deku, half the time is spent just getting there. Maybe a little 25, because you've got like 5-6 minutes for Gobo Deku. Jabu is going to be 10-ish minutes of getting there and back. Does have to pick up lights, which adds a few extra minutes. So yeah, something in the 25-30 minute. It's I feel like gonna be in the 240-ish finish time. Aeronaut really depends on if he ends up getting if for Aeronaut it depends on where does he go after Jabu.
Yeah.
It could be really fast, it could be really slow for him, because if he goes down the AD rabbit hole, he's gonna be here a while.
Has he fully forgotten it, or is it a oh, I forgot to do that, I'll get to it at some point situation?
And we can speculate all we want, but we won't know until he actually gets it. Until we see where he goes after this, basically. I get it too. The forgetting the Mirror Shield was probably rushing to check if it's AD, did Spirit, and then just forgot about it on the way out. But,
oh yeah, the AD was the 100% the main bit of knowledge that you were there for.
Yeah,
you weren't there to get items. You were there to know.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, especially with K-Sword giving him Deku access, just forgot about it on the way out of there, which happens.
The joy about not having to do child.
Yeah.
Soda just one more check away from go mode. Well, glow mode.
Yeah.
But we'll be treating the rest of the game like a go mode.
Yeah. A little
Not
strat
going
here for
into-
Aeronaut is you can just kind of... unfortunately failed it, but there is a way to hit that switch from the bottom, rather than having to climb all the way up. But then,
Yeah,
like, have
there's
the
about
position
3
and
different
angle for it.
setups for it. One of
That's
these
fine
tricks
for
that
Emo.
everyone else seems to have a different setup for.
Mm-hmm.
And Baronade, my favourite boss of the game. It feels very fun to beat Baronade when you do it well. So if you can stun, you get to use the most powerful weapon in this game, which is the Deku Nut. When you stun Baronade and have to hit all the jellyfish, they die to 1 hit from any weapon. That includes the Deku Nut, so just use 1 Deku Nut and it hits all of them at once. Basically means you get to skip the first 2 phases.
Hey, Spring, just where the winner's at. GG. Spring was on other runners in this qualifier who, yeah, I said that someone would sub 230 Boilers. Sure, Spring has finished the seed. Specific finish time I won't spoil yet. GG's. Yeah, we're pretty much in no mode as a restream, Spring. Aeronaut, unfortunately, forgot to check Colossus Ferry on the way out of Spirit Temple. Emo did AD, but is now in glow mode, just never did child mode. And yes, the Stone of Agony has been a model for a while. It has both child and adult.
You can be a small Stone of Agony and a larger Stone of Agony. Other sizes are available.
And yeah, Spring, Aeronaut was in a really good position until the Mirror Shield happened. He'd be on his way to Ganon's by now, I think, if he hadn't done that.
Yeah. About that, yeah.
String saying they never even touched
Aeronaut.
DC. Well, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Aeronaut hadn't touched Dongo's Shadow or the Well while he was going to Spirit. I think just got over enthusiastic trying to find that all dungeons knowledge.
And he is playing Serenade because they were talking about after Jabu how that GTG was probably his next play, but how would he get there was the question. Because he has Furor's set at the top of Spirit, so if he'd reversed Wasteland to get there by way of Furor's, he would have picked up Mirror on the way and then abandoned GTG. But going this way, he's going to find Dins, which is going to be a very big sidetrack.
There's the other stick upgrade.
Yeah, that's fun game.
No, he doesn't
Yeah,
have
Aeronaut
Dins. He
never
went
did
down
Field.
he did the west side of Field.
Unless Aeronaut decides to
Assuming Emo's
for
loaded.
some clean up for Colossus Ferry on the way before committing to AD, he's gonna be a while. Your last location, the letter Spring, it was top of DC. Although I guess with Bolero, maybe he just never had a reason to go
Yeah.
over that way.
It will be a little annoying for Emo Soda to walk past the lights to get to Jabu, to go to Ganon, to be told to go back to the main.
Yeah, but from their perspective, there's no real reason to go do these checks. They're not they're not especially fast, and you know, it's far more likely they're just sitting in Ganon's.
The torches, maybe because you've got Dins, but definitely not the diving game. But we do get to see Lake. We haven't seen Lake yet.
The paths are strange to see. Well, paths were funny this seed spring. We have, I think the command's up to date now. Our paths, the Ice Cavernous path for Hookshot and Thunderstorms because they lock the entire seed. The Crater is for scale to get to turn in letter for the entire seed. Fire is hovers locked. Strength 2's on Volve. Is the short explanation on. Also, hover boots are hard required for Colossus access because either you need Requiem behind Shadow Temple or you need hover boots across the wasteland because long shots in Deku Tree.
Yeah, you can get the strength and spirit as your strength too, if you use the hover boots to go get Requiem. Either way, your second strength is locked by hovers.
Here's Dins for Aeronaut.
Still gonna go to training grounds though, I would think.
Yeah, there's strength and spirit sunblock room. Whether or not that's available is something I don't particularly feel like exploring right now, because brain. And actually, Bolero might be path true, because I was thinking that you had ways into Goron, you had other ways of getting around, but no, double magic was in remote Grotto. Funny.
Yeah, because Zima sort of went there without any explosives, right? So we are going to see Aeronaut head to training grounds. It is just unfortunate.
Yeah, I don't actually know, honestly, that Bolero's path, because it was just Saria's in the Crater, which nothing was. Adult SFM was Epona's song, which you don't hard require. AD was available for getting past the wasteland.
It's Crater for Volvagia.
Bolero hovers for scale to turn in letter. Scale was Crater Wall, right? Thank you, I forgot that one. Forgot. That's what I forgot. That was in Crater. Whoops. Yeah, because I guess you'd actually. Yeah, you're right. Because we had no way of had no ways of blowing up Link the Goron logically. No bomb bag, no strengths, no hammer, and no bow. That is a little stupid, now that I think about it. Good old, can you blow up Link the Goron logic.
Well, we do get our first look at training grounds.
Yep.
Can't think of any items that can be here, but another bomb bag.
Yeah, it could be another bomb bag in here. Because we're missing 2 bomb bags, our last bow. Apparently there's a bow on Bongo I forgot about. We're missing 2 bottles. Goron Tunic is somewhere. Claim check is somewhere.
Yeah, unfortunately none of the items that actually can lead to anything.
Not really.
Some duplicates. The only things like long shot that could lead to other items have already been found. This one.
Yeah, there's another
There's the
bow.
remaining bow. This has been an interesting seed. Paths were The paths weren't straightforward, but there were only so many places that they could point at. They were good path ends. You know, Graveyard to Goma tells you hoverboots. There's only really 2 places that the hoverboots can take you, and one of them's required. Then you can just follow the strength 2 from there. And the Kakariko hint giving you strength also kind of points that direction as well. Having Ice Cavern and Crater hints, and then finding a scale in the crater does kind of imply to you, hey, go hand in that Sphere 1 Ruto's letter. That's something you need to do early.
Yep, yeah.
There were 2 paths for the hint. There was one to all the stuff that Ice Cavern unlocked, and then there was another thread that led to the Kakiri sword. So it was sort of 2 main directions our path hints went.
Hey, another big chest in GTG. Chapu's done for emo. Iron! Yeah. Hey, so those aren't on Colossus Arch. Interesting.
Yeah, so what is on the Colossus Arch? That definitely looked like iron boots.
Yeah.
Progressive
It
iron
really
boots.
doesn't matter. I'm just curious what that is. For information about the tournament, most information is going to be found actually in the OOTR SGL Discord, which is not the one the bot linked. The bot's giving the wrong link. That's the more useful of the 2.
A Deku Shield on Colossus. Yeah, I mean, that's the only other thing that I could imagine it being, because it's the only other thing that's brown and wide. But that is Emo in glow mode, heading to Ganon's castle, up the tower, to be told, hey, go back to where you just were.
Yep.
And I think we were sort of bang on with a sort of high 230s.
As I did slightly lose track of things, but we did have some first finishers, as expected. First finishes were around the 220 mark. Pyra, who we see in chat, finished first, 222.33. Avela was second, 224.13, and Tanjo, 226.44. GG's. Yeah, not terribly surprising. If Aeronaut had remembered the mirror shield, he would be finishing about now. Or be done.
Yeah, in that sort of pack.
Unfortunately, he forgot the mirror shield, which, again, understandable play, but oof.
Yeah, you can get lost in the sauce when you've got one data point you really want to find out. Oh, the big orange sword is so nice for Gan's tower. Oh, there's one of our other bomb bags. I think that Iron Knuckle fight went quite as Emo planned, but cutting a little bit finer than I would have wanted. But didn't get hit. Therefore it works. Yep, there's Aeronaut. Is going for the Mirror Shield.
Yep. Okay, thankfully. So he'll actually not be that far behind Emo. After all is said and done here.
I do have to wonder when he remembered.
And there's the shield flicks. Yeah, that feels bad. Also, hey
I do
Emo
have to-
and Chad. This is a 15-minute delay. Emo has been done for a while.
Probably about 12 minutes. But yeah, I do have to wonder when Aeronaut remembered that he hadn't done it.
Mm-hmm.
It had to have been at some point, probably before training grounds, or during training
Before or
grounds.
during, yeah.
Because it's very much a I don't want to go into Shadow play, then turn around and go back.
Yeah, for sure.
And that is very fair. I wouldn't want to do Shadow either.
No, because if you're doing Shadow, you are committing to 15 minutes of Shadow Temple, another 5 minutes for DC, plus like another. It's like a 25-minute time sink, because then you have to go get Requiem, go Child Spirit, check that out. There goes half an hour. Good luck. Instead of, spending 3 or 4 minutes crossing the wasteland. Probably like 2 minutes. You'll take the 2-minute wasteland crossing over the half-hour time sink anytime. Well, I guess you can go about DC, but it'd still be really, it's still a significant amount of time spent on that.
Emo looking like they were floundering between doing torches first. Or diving first.
Yeah, so...
Going for magic.
Yeah. Sense for
It's
Dins.
a nice little thing that a lot of people who don't play Rando haven't known. If you play the Song of Storms at a Gossip Stone, it releases a big fairy. Big fairy differs from a normal fairy in that A, you can't catch it in a bottle, and B, it refills your magic as well as your hearts. Comes in very handy when you need to use Dins and then go into your Ganon fight. Because if you've left Roar's Wind in Ganon's castle, you've really got to worry about how much magic you're warping back into castle with. Because there's no way to turn around and pick up more out of the pots.
No.
Twinrova not playing that nicely for Aeronaut.
No, Trollrova doing Trollrova things. We did get top 5 now is in for the score calculation. The Spring finishing 229.27 and Flush 231.23. This is our second to last qualifier here, so fighting for the last few spots. Aeronaut and Emo were both borderline. Maybe they'd make it in with a good score. Well, I've run some preliminary calcs to see what the scores would be out of this call because they have both finished within the past 15 minutes, as is fairly obvious. So we'll see what their status is on standing. So we've had a few people finish this seed who have now secured spots in brackets. And some more who are going to be on the edge, pending results.
Yeah. And that one remaining qualifier is at... what's that? 8 p.m. Eastern, so that's what?
It's Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern, that's midnight UTC, 1 a.m. British time, 2 a.m. Central European. Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. This call was Emo's 4th and Emo and Aeronaut's 4th.
Yeah.
Emo
Also,
came in with a
Aeronaut
97, an 85, a 77, and a 77. So they will be dropping their 77, which is going to significantly improve their score. Aeronaut has an 81, an 89, a high 89, and an 82. This is going to help their average a bit and drop to 81, but that 82 is going to drag their average down. And yay, the sheet didn't break! Thank you for your work, Spring. String and I spent several hours last night in the voice call improving the spreadsheet. Much appreciated for that.
It's because you're using Google Sheets. They tried to make Excel, but this isn't as good.
No, this isn't Excel. The original version of this spreadsheet was issued to us by SG staff for SGL 2020, and while I'm not the worst at spreadsheets, I'm also not sufficiently knowledgeable or motivated to go do an entirely new one from scratch, so we've been using basically the same spreadsheet for the past several years. Yeah, several hours last night. That is not an exaggeration. We were there past midnight Eastern, I think. Or so, yeah.
It took me long enough to learn Excel. I'm not learning another platform.
Google Sheets is similar to Excel, but as Spring and I both found out last night, some of the functions in Excel do not exist in Sheets or work differently. So because when Spring was doing the initial rework, he was doing it in Excel and then tried to port it to Sheets, and we realized that doesn't work that way. All right, starting over again.
Emo Soda putting a pretty clean 2-cycle in on Ganondorf. I think it was 2-cycle. I was looking at Aeronaut's screen.
I was not paying much attention, I'll be honest.
Emo Soda with some appropriate music for the Ganon fight. The Zelda's Lullaby song. Just a few stabs on Ganon. Ganon only takes damage, extra damage from the Master Sword. Luckily, using power crouch stabs, you can store a jump slash from the Master Sword into your hammer. Crouch stabbing with the hammer at that point does double Master Sword damage, meaning you only need 3 hits in Phase 1 instead of, what is it, 9? 9, I think, any other weapon takes.
I forget, yeah.
Must be 9, because you use 9 nuts.
And it's 1 unit of damage per nut.
I have to say, for having missed the Mirror Shield for quite a while, Aeronaut isn't that far behind.
No, not really.
They're one Ganon fight apart. Ganondorf and Ganon fight apart.
Yep.
I mean, that's the length of Spirit Temple that's making the difference there. The extra time Aeronaut was spent looking for the Mirror Shield was Emo Soda's Shadow Temple.
And we do have GG's to Emo.
Soda.
2:37:03.
There we are. Thank you. I've got like 3 different phrase time tabs.
I've got like a zillion tabs open myself. So. Yeah, Emo Bot should hopefully send you an invite for an interview shortly. There we are. GG's, Emo.
Hey, GG's.
So, did you enjoy the seed?
I just couldn't shake the feeling of nervousness the whole time. So I feel like my execution was a little bit less than solid. And I did 3 extra dungeons. So.
Well, Shadow and DC, yeah, that didn't help.
Technically, I mean, I think it was a fine thing to do. I think about 10 of my skulls came from all those dungeons, except on the wall. But that was more just a hedge against Song of Storms maybe being lost. But I had no idea if it could be or not. So And then I just kind of accidentally found Mirror Shields. That was cool. And I accidentally found Kakuri, and I was like, well, I have Goron City path, Baronade, so I guess I'll check that first. I have like no good way to get there because of the child spawns. So I was very nervous the whole time until the end. And probably like at the start, I didn't enter the password correctly. I was freaking out about that. Yeah. It's like, oh, I'm locked out for 15 seconds? No way. So reset actually fixes it, which I don't know. But yeah, I was like a solid 15 seconds, just lost at the get-go. So definitely, I was just trying to play as safe as possible. So I was maximizing my hinting. So I got back of Lake Hints, even though it's not, you know, great. It's still 2 hint stones, and I think the hints in these settings are very powerful.
Oh yeah, they can't be. We've had some really powerful path hints.
I mean, it saved me at the end too. So like, yeah, I'll push Goron City in case Rang's just sitting in the pot. Of course, it's in the pot. You know what I mean.
Goron City strikes again. There are definitely some parallels. Yesterday's seed was also a path, Goron City, and with a bow and adult Goron City, which couldn't be the path due to prioritization.
Yeah.
And then your actual path item was in Child's Goron City, although it was Darunia yesterday.
And just to slide in there, GG's to Aeronaut with a time of 2:39.19. Won't be coming in for an interview, unfortunately, but GG's.
Yeah, GG's. Aeronaut, I know you've been lurking in chat for a bit, Emo. Terry Hash, Aeronaut skipped AD. Actually rushed Skulls quite hard early, although it didn't ultimately bite him all that much. If he hadn't, the big problem for him is that he went Spirit around, I want to say, the 2-hour mark a bit earlier, probably, yeah, like an hour 40 maybe, because he wanted to check if it was AD. This was after beating Forest and Fire. You guys did those around the same time in opposite orders. He beat Forest, he beat Fire, he crossed the Wasteland to check if it was AD, and then just forgot to do Colossus Fairy on the way out, which cost him somewhere between 15 and 20 minutes.
Oh man, yeah, that's a really easy one to skip. Like, I could have been in Fountain, and I would have been super punished. So,
like, I'm bad. I'm not 100% sure on the math, but he would have been in running for, if not first place, top 5 easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, it cost him a well in a training grounds.
And another Wasteland Crossing, which was not insubstantial.
Yeah, I just
and a full clear Deku. Long shot was in there, by the way.
kind of felt like I was just hedging against my Woths or my paths half the time. So like it was like 2 things in every path location. I was like, well, all right, what if it is Rec at CAC, right, for Deku? So I just had that in the back of my head the whole time. It was like, might as well, incorporate some skull routing. There could just be a random item in one of these dungeons. So I mean, if you're getting items plus skulls,
can't be path because it's directly hinted.
Oh, okay.
No, that still holds validity. But it's pretty.
I wasn't sure. I mean, it's several different settings. Just treat it differently. So
fair. But CAC was double path, and so was Ice Cavern. Hookshot and Storms are path out of Ice. Hookshot because it's the only available hook. The long shots in Deku. And we never and DMT Storms is your first bomb back.
Yep. Yeah, I found that one. I actually found that one.
And then Bolero actually was path today. I didn't realize until after Spring turned up in chat post finish. Is that this was one of those good old you can't blow up Link the Goron without Bolero today seed for the scale on Crater, which is that path.
Yeah, it's a weird path. I assumed it was just for skulls or something.
No, Hookshot. This was one of the seeds where I actually had to get the. This is one of the seeds where I actually had to go and get where I actually got the map tracker out to count skulls. And yeah,
it was close.
It was 29 skulls, I believe, is what I had in Logic before Ice Cavern.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you just need the hook for 1 skull. It's a little silly, but I mean, I didn't expect to find a hook. I was just, I don't know. I don't,
There had to be
Well, it's
something
not-
there. The memeiest of options would have been Song of Time for that one skull and fire.
Yeah, fire.
It's not so much for the skulls, it's for the bombs, I believe.
Song of Storms is for bombs, yeah. First
It's the
bomb
skill
bag is
to hand in
DMT
the
Storm
letter to go
Crowd.
get your bomb bag.
Yep.
And then use the bomb bag to get the hammer. Oh no, wait. To get the bow. What was in Gork?
Yeah, Volva's bow. If Volva's bow and hover is locked,
Yeah, it was
available. Yeah, it's the bow that's locked behind the scale.
I'm assuming Aeronaut went adult first, right?
Aeronaut did adult. Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
that was interesting to see you do an early child.
Yeah, I'm one of a few different runners that does child first, and I think this seed it didn't really matter at all which one you went. I think that's usually the case for SGL. I mean, you kind of have to think kind of big picture. So it's your first adult and your first child, plus like wherever you go after that is kind of your opener. And a lot of people have been putting like River into that, which I think is fine. But I don't know. It's a more consistent start, I think. It's real easy. You still get the taught hints. There's no like a whole lot of wasted movement. Like you can kind of skip market if you want to, or you can stay there. Kind of up to you. I kind of just like rushing the songs though, and then you have a little bit more to work with. I think more options in routing, really.
The very start of the seeds, going adult first did pay off a bit better for.
Yeah, with the bottle and the skull hints. Yeah, but that's why I made it just go there early as adult. And
it was also that you had the scale first adult one.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, because he actually took an early dip into Jabu because this really dry start. See through Rudo's letter and scale early. Go check it basically.
Yeah, I definitely would have rushed ice if I had started adult this seed, but I don't know. I wouldn't have felt as great about it. I think just because there could be like some. I thought there was a bow at the bottom of the fountain. I don't know if you saw that.
I have no idea. I'll be honest.
I think that was the third bow. The other one was somewhere else.
Oh wait, no, we saw. Oh yeah, no, we saw the other. All three bows. GTG had the last one, so no.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that was.
All I know is it wasn't. All I know is it wasn't shiny, which is normally how I.
Pyro thought it was a boomerang, which it obviously wasn't.
Well, yeah, the qualifier winner thought it was a ring. Damn.
Pyro got jumped through and popped out of hot.
Yeah, I don't know.
He thinks it's a.
To be fair, it was night when I tried looking, so it's kind of on me.
Yeah.
But,
I mean, I can't comment much because I have no idea. I thought it was irons on the Colossus Arch, so...
Yeah, I mean, one of the other qualifiers I played too had just a free bomb bag and adult fountain, or just the fountain check. I don't know what you want to call it, but... and I just entirely skipped that. So, I don't know, I was getting a little bit PTSD. I was like, well, come on, this is a random seed, it's different, the past seeds don't really affect this one, right? So... You kind of have to play it cool like that.
No, but it's hard to get it out of your brain if something like that happens.
Yeah, for sure. You just have to play it cool and, keep trucking, as we see people finish in the qualifier. It's probably the worst feeling, but, if you're in go mode already, you're heading towards Ganon, you're in pretty good shape at that point. So you kind of have to just keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that's about all I really wanted to say about the seed. It was okay. It was kind of it was similar to a few of the other ones recently where you have the gambit of, okay, you could do AD and it could be AD, but do you do it? I think it's an open question. There's a lot of things pointing to AD and not, so...
Yeah, it turned out to be non-AD at all, but definitely were some interesting. But is it? Isn't it? Hovers are path to Goma because it locks both ways of getting across the wasteland.
Yeah.
Is ultimately what that one boiled down to, is because long shots in Deku and Shadow locks Requiem. So. But
you are right in there. Was, you could chase AD or not, and it was kind of what I was expecting from the results.
Yeah, I think
it is what you can see. There's a big chunk of people that are sort of 222 to 235,
230.
and
Yeah.
then there's all of the others. There's the people who did AD, and there's the people who didn't do AD.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, at the point that I used the skulls in Shadow, kind of as my last few ones, I was already at the pot room in Shadow, so I put
Yeah.
for Orswin. I don't know, it's not that much of an ass to do that to the end of Shadow. It's a couple, like 5 minutes, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fairly short because.
So I think for that it was worth it, and going into DC was worth it, rather than, well, I could go to like Fortress area. I already know it's dead over there. There's like 4 skulls though that are pretty easy, but you know that could be wasted movement in a qualifier setting. I don't know if I want to take that risk. So I kind of more playing into the really safe play style for this one.
Yeah, makes sense. Because Aeronaut himself had some decent sized detours. Had some varying detours for skulls of his own. He did. Because among other things, he went for that first skull in Jabu when he made that Jabu dip. Had some shenanigans in Adult River because the camera wasn't being nice. Some other things.
Mm.
And yeah, 29 out of 30. I think he is probably thinking that 30 was like just barely in. Yeah, it turned out to be just barely not in. And so if you're trying to push too hard for that early hammer, you really get stuck down a very tight, just barely not quite 30 skulls mess. But, well.
I'm going to take off, I think. Shout out to the podcast. We'll be having a new episode end of August, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. But thanks for the interview.
And I think good luck to you. I think you are likely to make. I think you will be top 32 here, Emo. You're able to drop your worst score, which brings your current score up to a 91.8. Which it'll be close, I think, on top 32, but I think you're probably okay. Just about.
It's going to be more RNG in the groups anyway, so it's kind of like, I don't know. Like it's all kind of up in the air still until tomorrow. So
because there's still a couple people who could move up a few spots to make the top 32. There's still a few down below who can make it in, but I don't think there's 7 more of them. So I think you're okay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the 1v1s regardless. So I think it'll be good to see. Good prep for the in-person tournament too.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing you there as well, Yumo. It'll be a pleasure to have you.
It'll be my first time. I'm so excited. So
absolutely, it's good fun.
Anyway, I'm gonna take off. Thanks again.
GG's.
Yeah, GG's.
So yeah, any last thoughts, I guess, Kalu?
Not really. I think Emo sort of summed it up pretty well at the end there. Some fun paths. Everything made sense in the end.
Yeah.
Nobody had too many disasters.
Yeah, wasn't too terrible. So that is going to be it here for us then. GG's again to both our runners on race stream and to everyone else in the race, Aeronaut and Emo Soda. Aeronaut looks like he'll be just edged out of top 32, unfortunately. He's sitting in 35th place right now, but well played all the same. It was a pleasure to have him, and I'll sure to see him around for other tournaments. Thank you again, Kayla, for joining me on comms and for helping me admin this craziness. It's always a whole thing every year. And thank you to Shannock and Sunlight Celestial for doing our tracking today. We do have one final qualifier.
Along with me.
Absolutely. We do have one final qualifier coming up on Tuesday, as previously mentioned. That'll be at 8 p.m. Eastern, midnight UTC, 1 a.m. British time, 2 a.m. Central European. So you can, if you'd like, you can check us all out then. And then we'll be on to groups, which will be starting next week, I believe, once we get all of the signups confirmed and everything. So we'll see you all for that. But for now, that's going to be it here for us tonight. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time.